Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining this week's Wilmington Biz Talk put on by the Greater Wilmington Business Journal. I'm Vicki Janowski, editor of the Business Journal, and today we are talking about the summer tourism season and what that means and how that's changed over the past couple of years. Joining us is Kim Hufham, President and CEO of the Wilmington and Beaches CVB, also the Tourism Development Authority. We decided to do this topic this week because it's Memorial Day weekend, and traditionally for our area, that's meant the unofficial start to the summer beach and tourism season. But one of the things we'll talk about today is, whether or not that's changed in the past couple of years and whether we really can say if there's an off season and on season anymore. Based on the recent traffic I've had going to the beaches, I think maybe at the very least it started earlier this year than what we're used to in the past. So Kim, thanks for joining us today. And I guess just to start us off, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing to prepare for summer.
Well, it's always, as you said, we, used to Memorial Day, we thought was the official kickoff of the tourist season. But fortunately, as you shared with us, Vicki, it does start a bit earlier now. So, of course, we've been marketing, that we're open again, or not again. We have been open throughout the last 2 years. We've actually had an incredible tourism season last year. And as we look into this year, things are looking great. I've had the opportunity to talk with some of our vacation rentals and some of our hotels, and they are looking for a very strong summer season again this year.
And so I just mentioned this, and also, by the way, I should point out, if anyone has questions, if you're watching this live on our Facebook page, you have questions around this topic for Kim, go ahead and post it there in the comments and I'll pass them along. But like I just alluded to, this idea of the official season and off season, kind of give us an overview of what you've noticed since you've been in this role for so long. What changed in the past couple of years during the pandemic, and how has that impacted what we think of as summer tourism?
Right. Well, I think that as we've seen our destination become an increasingly popular destination, we've actually seen our season spread. As I said, used to pretty much, our hot season was Memorial Day to Labor Day. It was those 3 summer months. Through my tenure here at the CVB, then we saw May and September start to be strong. Then we saw April and October. And throughout the last couple of years, we've actually seen some of our biggest increases in our room occupancy tax collections, percentage-wise, have been in our even more off-season months of November, December, January, and February. And I think that the pandemic actually helped that in a way, because a lot of people had the opportunity to work from home, or they could work technically from any location. So they came down, they got a beach cottage for a couple of weeks, brought their family, and were able to do things like that. So a lot of those factors that could be negatives during the pandemic actually played to a positive to our destination, and we fared much better than a lot of our more urban counterparts across the state and country did.
So since you mentioned the room occupancy tax numbers going up, and that's kind of an indication of the number of overnight hotel stays in the area. So if it's going up or down, we can kind of get a loose sense of people booking and staying overnights. What are you still continuing in the past couple of months to see that as an increase? I know we covered recently last year about it being a record-breaking month at one point during the fall. So I'm just curious, have you seen those numbers continue to be high? And on top of that as well, what have you seen or heard about in terms of our available hotel capacity? Do we need more hotel rooms for the demand we're seeing now?
Yeah, of course, we'd always love to have more hotel rooms, and we do have, some new properties in the pike as far as coming our way. But yes, we are still seeing record-breaking numbers. If the numbers continue right now at the pace that we're on, the numbers we have right now are just through March. We're always on kind of a 6-week lag with getting numbers, but through March, we're up 37% over last year, and last year was a record-breaking year for us. So right now, we're on pace to top over $20 million in occupancy tax receipts for the first time ever. So, that's just phenomenal news. And again, a lot of that is being attributed to our off season is growing and being stronger.
And then, so let's talk a little bit about then what the current challenges might be for the people, the hotels, the restaurants, anyone just within the hospitality industry that has been used to an uptick in the summer. Some of those I would think that are going to remain issues in the foreseeable future include just the labor shortage that we've seen in the past, year, to the more recent rise in gas prices. So what are the CVB members telling you about that?
Yeah. Well, of course, the labor is still an issue. We still, as I talk with some of our general managers and restaurant owners, et cetera, they're still doing some of the work themselves. The labor shortage has really affected the hospitality industry. No doubt we were one of the hardest hit areas and have been one of the slowest to come back as far as seeing the labor market come in. And of course, when summer gets here, you've got more visitors in the area. So it not only affects our visitors, but affects our locals that are going out to restaurants and things like that. So, one of the things that we're, just trying to tell people is be patient. Please understand it's not that necessarily the service is poor. It's just they're short staffed. So, they're doing all they can because of course, this is their time for their largest revenue generating time of the year. So, we've been trying to work with them. I have heard some of our hoteliers say that it is getting better. They have been able to, hire some additional staff. And so things are looking better, but there's still an issue with that as far as, the labor pool itself. As far as the gas prices, in the past, we've been a destination that gas prices alone just generally don't affect us, that negatively. So much of our business is drive-in. And so when you're talking about, an extra dollar or two at the pump, yes, it hits us all. But what we've seen is it sometimes will affect their discretionary spending. They're still going to come. They're still going to stay in the hotels, but they might not go out to eat as often. We laughed. We said that one of our hotel owners told us one time they could judge how the economy was doing with their guests by how many cereal boxes they found in the trash can, so instead of going out to breakfast, they're eating in, that type of thing. So we do feel like because it's not right now just gas prices, everything has gone up, that, we will probably see less visitor spending in certain areas, but we still feel as a whole, all numbers indicate people are still coming and, are going to, still go on vacation and come to our area.
And does that impact how you all market the area to potential visitors? Are you focusing, because of some of those factors, focusing on more of the in-state travel market, or do you have more of a long-term plan when you guys go out and try to convince people to spend their vacations here?
Right. Well, of course, our number one feeder market is in-state. As I said, it's a drive-in in-state market, people coming from the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, as well as Charlotte and the Triad. So those are our strongest feeder markets for people coming in. But, we also, our spring advertising campaign has, been running, and, we make sure that we, emphasize that, we're a destination that there's something for everyone, to come on in. We're more than just beaches. We also have the beautiful historic riverfront area. So we try to let people know that their experience here, can be very varied and also affordable. We are an affordable destination. I mean, we've seen prices of hotel rooms, et cetera, go up, but that's a statewide trend. It's not just here. So, we still comparatively are affordable to come in, have a vacation here.
And just in general, what are some other trends or outlooks that you guys are either expecting here, or just when you talk with your counterparts in other parts of the country, particularly in beach communities?
Right. Well, again, we're going to continue to see, a strong draw for vacation rentals. That's been the one market that we really saw take a huge jump in our area. I'm talking with some of our vacation rental companies. They shared that they are seeing more homes come on the market. More and more people that have a second home or a rental home are putting them out there for rent. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot more of the, larger families coming in together. They come together for vacation. They cook in, they eat in, those types of things. So we're seeing that trend. And again, we'll continue to see, we feel like where people, number one, your international travel is not, still not back up where it was, which bodes well for us. We have beautiful beaches here. People love to come. And again, because we're such a strong drive market as well, people will come in.
I know we're talking a lot about the summer tourist and that type of traveler, but also you all focus on the convention district as well, and convention travel in booking those and working with the convention center and those types of visitors that are in for business conventions. So how's that been in terms of this year, and has it been rebounding?
Yes, we are starting to see that uptick that we were hoping for in our convention and business travel. We were looking, when you look at our room occupancy tax receipts, going back the last couple of years, of course, the beaches rebounded the fastest because of, the being able to be outdoor, vacation rentals, just the whole atmosphere people were looking for. Secondly, we saw Wilmington, the entire city of Wilmington, within the limits, those numbers started trending up, but they were behind what we saw the beaches, almost a year behind before we really saw some upward trend there. And then following shortly thereafter that, we saw what we consider our convention district, which is, one way we're able to kind of gauge how the business travel and how they're doing. Talking with the convention center, bookings are great. They are, seeing groups coming back in, they're booking. We've had some very significant groups in the last couple of months. I know we had a group in this week. We were able to host City Vision, which was the League of Municipalities, which had to reschedule due to COVID, but they came in, had a very successful conference. So we definitely are seeing the convention and meeting business back. Maybe not quite where we were, but it is definitely trending that way. And we're excited that, we're seeing that now.
Kim, I want to thank you for joining us on this week's Biz Talk and giving us just kind of a check-in about the hospitality industry. I know ever since we started Biz Talk, right as in the early days of the pandemic, we have been checking in with you to do these kinds of benchmarks throughout the past 2 years and seeing how it's gone, obviously drastically and dramatically down, and then back up again and to dramatic highs. And so we will continue to check in with you as the industry moves forward, since it's obviously a big part of the local economy. So thank you for this check-in now, and I hope you are getting a long weekend and some rest and relaxation as well, and as well as everyone who's watching now. And before we sign off, I just want to also share some breaking news with you all who might be watching us right now. But our reporter, Johanna Cano, is saying that the Board of Governors is discussing the next chancellor for UNCW, and their pick is a familiar name to this area, Aswani Valetti, who was previously Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at UNCW, left for a couple of years to move to a position at Elon, but looks like we'll be returning back to Wilmington as the next chancellor once Chancellor Sartorelli retires. So if you are a subscriber to the Business Journal's free email newsletters, you will be getting a story coming out soon to your inboxes, a little bit more about the decision and about Aswani Valetti to learn a little bit more about him. If you are not a subscriber, then you should sign up, and you can do that at WilmingtonBiz.com and receive news alerts like that, as well as a recap of today's discussion with Kim in our afternoon email at 4. And if you want to catch up on any previous discussions, you can check it out at WilmingtonBizTalk.com or on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Thanks everyone for joining, and we hope that you have a relaxing long weekend as well. We'll see you on the next Biz Talk.